ZZ109FM Talk Radio. This is Elsie Jenkins here. Lord have mercy. Mm, mm, mm. December the 1st is here, and holidays are over. And Lord, you think people would take a break when it comes to being violent, hating one another. You've got a weekend where you can relax with your family and friends, uh, create memories and so forth. And it just seems like this weekend, violence didn't take a break. Lord have mercy. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, it's just me in the studio today. You got Loratti on vacation and 10th grade education Bob on vacation. Lord have mercy. I need a vacation. If there was no news to report, it wouldn't have to be here. I could play some old recording from back in the day and let it slide. But you know what? We gotta talk about some things. Lord. Hopefully you're blessed, you're here, you're listening, your family's here. Let me first take a moment to thank you for being a positive part of the solution and not a negative part of the problem. Thank you for taking care of yourself, and if you have a family, for taking care of your family. Thank you for getting out here and working hard and making things happen. You are appreciated, and you need to do something for yourself next time you get paid. Don't be so quick to do things for others. Sit down and have yourself a lunch. I don't care what it is, but you do something for yourself. You're doing things for everybody else, but what about yourself? Let's get down to this. I'm not going to holler and scream because this weekend I did some hollering and I did some damn screaming because the world is ridiculously going down, down, it's sinking like the Titanic, if that even makes any damn sense. First, let's talk about simple things. Then we're gonna get to the last bit of the complicated things, and we're not gonna take a lot of your time because we know you got things to damn do. All right, shoppers are out shopping the day after. In fact, let's rewind. We've got people going to work, having arguments with their coworkers. Okay, sometimes you don't agree, but do you have to kill your coworker because you don't agree? We had a incident where the coworkers got in a verbal confrontation in North Carolina, and one killed the other before the holidays. So you got a family sitting at the table with a loved one missing, and another family sitting at the table with a loved one in jail on his way to prison. No one wants to sit down and eat dinner with anxiety and pain and hurt and anger. No one wants that. But the decisions people are making out here are making it just that, a very sour situation. Thanksgiving is not pleasant. And many people have dealt with this. For example, the day after Thanksgiving, you've got two malls, a mall in California and a mall in Newport News, Virginia, Patrick Henry Mall. Someone's in there shooting in the mall, shooting people. One person dies in the Patrick Henry Mall because these two people had problems with each other for many years, as we're learning. But they happen to end up in the mall first thing in the morning when everybody's trying to take advantage of all the bargains and sales. One person has lost his life and one person is in jail for the rest of his life, saying it's self-defense. But the problem is you should have worked out your differences without violence. And the day you did it on, no one's going to justify self-defense. No one's going to justify that. Watch. I don't know what was going on in people's mindsets. Go home. Sit down with your family. Do you have a family to sit down with? Enjoy a meal. Eat leftovers. Watch football. Enjoy TV, shows, movies. There's so much going on the planet. Game systems. You got so much you could have done this weekend to take your mind off of the good things you're doing or the bad things you're doing on the planet. You could take a break. No one wanted to take a damn break this weekend. What kills me is you've got kids at a birthday party. Kids at a birthday party in California. No kid in a birthday party is supposed to ever think they're going to die at a birthday party. Birthday parties are not a place where you go to die. An 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 21-year-old are not going to be here for Christmas, are not going to be here for 2026. They only received 8, 9, 14, and 21 years on this planet. That's all the time they received. That's it. All because we couldn't take a break from violence over the weekend. We can't take a break from violence. All because we can't even come up with other ways to resolve our differences other than violence. Thou shalt not kill means nothing to many of you people on the planet. Thou shalt not kill means nothing. I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for every last violent person on this planet to have to deal with the Lord in the end. Because this is a place where you don't have to be violent. You could walk away. There's so many directions you could walk on this planet to get away from a problem. It's ridiculous. You don't have to deal with the problem. I heard this mother of a young man that was killed in Patrick Henry Mall talking on the news, talking about how they had a beef for over 13 years. I'm like, why didn't you just move away? If you cared anything about your family, you should have moved away. And I don't want to hear about this, well, we born here, our family's here. Blah. Nobody wants to hear that. You know you have a problem. Your son is in this city dealing with some problems. You know what you do? You pick up, pack up, and you move somewhere. And you change your direction in life. You know there's a problem, but you just think, oh, it's just going to go away. Well, it didn't go away. They eventually met each other in Patrick Henry Mall, and the fate is its fate. We are all descendants of the Moors. If you got melanin in your skin, we are descendants. We are all related. We are all part of one big culture. Yet we are our worst enemy. We are our own worst enemy. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. But many people lost their lives this weekend and not going to be here for Christmas and not going to be here for 2026. And I ain't going through all these people that done lost their lives. It don't make no damn sense. Violence doesn't take a break. I don't think it ever has. Let's get into some more simple stuff before we get to the last complicated thing. If you look around the planet, you got weather out here. Some of your weather out here is snow and ice. And remember, black ice is out there. And you look in the city of Norfolk, Virginia, Newport News, Hampton, all these suckers out here having accidents because you're moving too fast. You're trying to go too quickly to get somewhere, and you're not giving yourself enough time. You can't do 60 to 75 miles an hour when you got a bunch of rain hitting the ground. You got to slow down to 45 miles per hour. So if you're running late, it's gonna be an issue. Leave early when there's rain coming. Hasn't rained in a long time, so a lot of that oil and soot on the ground makes the grounds extra slippery. Hasn't ran off. Doesn't make any sense that every time rain finally gets here and snow gets here, we have all these damn accidents, and it's because you people ain't slowing down. The bottom line is, if you don't know how to drive in this kind of weather, you probably should call in sick or keep your hind parts in the house. But don't try to get out there and hang with the big dogs doing 75 when your ass know good and well you can't hang with the big dogs and ice doing 75. Accidents everywhere. Let's keep it moving up. This real ID BS. Let me tell you something. These people are inconsistent. First, you tell us we got to have the real ID by a certain time or you're not going to fly. Then they say, oh, well, you can fly. You just got to come in and pay $45. So which one was it? No ID, you don't fly? Or were you planning on taking money from people to begin with? Pay $45 and then you got a pass for 10 days. You guys are crooks, thieves, and should be terminated from your positions. Who ran this operation about the real ID? All of you should be terminated because the real ID is turning out to be the real money maker. $45. Oh, you can fly, just give me some money. Yeah. Liars. Now, another thing I want to look at is, you know what? The holidays are here, and all you hear on the news is about fake websites. Fake websites. Well, first of all, what is Google Chrome doing? And what is Microsoft Edge doing that they can't eliminate the fake websites? And then our security suites. We pay all this money for protection for our computers, yet it lets us get to fake websites. And unless you hover over something and read the address, you'll be able to determine something. But why isn't the security that we have on these computers picking up the fake websites and blocking them? See, we're paying all this money, and this stuff that we are using don't work. Luckily, Chrome and Edge are free. But the security software, luckily, if you get it through your cable company, costs money. And it's not doing the job if it's allowing me to go to a site that isn't really a real site. We're being bamboozled. And I'm tired of giving people my money for X, Y, and Z. In 2026, I'm not paying anything but the essentials. So, don't ask me to do Netflix. Don't ask me to do YouTube TV. Don't ask me to do cable. Don't ask me to do any apps. Don't ask me for nothing. I'm paying for my water, my electric, and my food, and my fuel. And any other necessities that keep me on the survival mode. But anything extra, you can forget about it. I'm not even buying things online. I will do without. All right, two last things here. Trump and these damn Venezuelan drug boats. Let me tell you something, people. If the boats got drugs on them, the boats got drugs on them. Why the hell else are they coming from Venezuela to America? Any common sense approach on this explains it completely. Where were the boats going? Were the boats going to a city around the corner from Venezuela? No, the boats were heading to America. So why are these boats going to America? Is it a special boat that gives you a special rate to get to America at a faster and more expedited option? And you get to view the ocean and whales and all this fun stuff? No. These people are at night doing devious things they ain't got no damn business doing, coming to America on a boat. So let's not sugarcoat the fact that once we target these as drug boats, the next step is, what are you going to do about them? You going to let them keep bringing drugs to America? Are we in on it? Is America in on the drug uh, trafficking? Well, to show that they're not in on the drug trafficking, they're blowing up the drug boats. Makes absolutely good sense. You're sending your drug boats. In fact, your country is doing nothing about the drug boats that are sneaking out of Venezuela and coming to America. You ain't doing nothing about them. So America said, okay, pull up the technology. Pop them in the ass with a missile. 9 or more boats have been blown out the water. Okay, no problem. So now we have an issue here where people are going back and forth saying, oh, you used a second missile to try to blow the boat up completely because it was still floating in the water. Well, who gives a damn? If the first missile had blew it out the water and blew it completely, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Obviously, these missiles we're using aren't too effective. Because I'd imagine if a missile hit my boat, it should blow it into splinters. It didn't, so someone said send another one. Whoop-de-doo. They're going back and forth talking about, oh, who authorized the second? It doesn't matter after the first missile hit the boat. It doesn't matter. And you're not going back there to help them and do first aid. You had no intentions of saving the people's lives on the boat with the first missile. So what the hell does it matter if you send a second one? They're trying to distract us and something else is going on because this don't make no damn sense. I don't care if you use 10 missiles. Did you blow the boat up after the 10th missile? You people that are running the country are idiots, and you people that are sitting there complaining about a second missile are idiots. Geneva Convention my ass. These people were going to be blown up with the first missile. Is there anything wrong with that? You guys shake your head. Nope, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so what's the damn difference if a second missile hit the damn boat? Oh, we need to do first aid. We can see people still alive. Shut up. You guys are idiots. And every time you open your mouth, you sound like idiots and you make America look stupid. I don't care if it took 5 missiles to blow the boat up. The first missile's intention was to blow it up. Who gives a damn if it takes 2, 3, or 4? And when we're in war with somebody, do we care about the first missile not killing everybody? And the second missile, we can't do anything now. The Geneva Convention says we can't fire the tank a second time. We got to go over there and help them. You guys are idiots. In war, we don't give a damn about the Geneva Convention. You blow that boat up, and we discuss how things happen later. Fools. Make no damn sense. And last but not least, on a weekend of just violence, and if you were living in a place like me, in a space like me that didn't have to deal with any violence, it was nothing but a blessing to hear the calm and the quiet amongst the chaos outside of our presence. It was nothing but a blessing. I'm going to tell you right now, I understand Ray J's position. I understand. And we got to realize that women can be vindictive in relationships and use what they know they can use to get to you as a man on the planet. We know this. This scenario has happened a trillion damn times. These kids are with their father in their beds with their asses washed, fed, and comfortable. And it's always the mother who possibly don't have her shit together, but no, she's got one thing. She's got the power to come in there and take the kids. She's got the power to come and take the kids. Why? Because she's the mother. That's the only thing that's justifying her actions, because she's the mother. I'm the mother. So I'm going to take the kids. Now, if the mother was to step outside the door for a moment and take a look at your kids are in the bed. They have no uh, clear knowledge of the beef that's going between you and their father. At that moment in time, they're in their beds. They are tucked away. The man has done his thing, took care of them, bathed them, got them in the bed, fed them, played with them, gave them some positive memories. So you stand outside the door, and what should you do? Push the button or leave the button alone and say to yourself, let me go ahead and get my kids in another method permanently, because I do want my kids. But I'm not going to get them this way, by disrupting their mindsets and leaving an imprint of negativity that might last a lifetime. See, women are vindictive, and women do these things because they know it hurts the man. Women do these things because they know that there's nothing the man can do but go off and go into a tangent. They know it's going to trigger him. So when you see a woman come to the door like that in the video, when I watch the video, and she's grabbing her child like she cares so much about her daughter. Like she cares so much. If you cared so much about your daughter, you wouldn't enter that man's house. You would have went down to the lawyer office and put in the right documents and paperwork to start filing for custody. That's what a real woman and a real mother would have done, and not dragged her kids out the house like she did with some strange man, like he's a helper. He's not a helper. He's a catalyst to cause this situation to try to overflow and boil into explosion of emotions. Women do this because they can. They know they can. And they know what triggers a man. Now, when I watch the video, I see Ray J maintaining his composure the best that he can. You're in his house. His kids are asleep, comfortable, and you trying to pull his kids out the bed. You expect the man to sit there and not say something or not do something, but just sit back and allow you just to walk up in his house? Sounds to me like she had a key, because as we look at the information here in the state of California, if she didn't have a key and she wasn't on the lease, then this is how he should have handled the situation. He should have met her at the door and said, what do you want? Now, she barged in and say, I'm coming to get the kids. First of all, you don't have a key and you ain't on the lease. So you are now trespassing. I'm asking you to leave. Now, she go any further into your house, all he had to do was call the police, 911. He didn't even need a gun to defend his children. 911. These people who are not on my lease have entered my home and are trespassing, and I asked them to leave and they did not leave. I want them arrested. That's all he had to do. That's it. It's very simple. When we get in these situations and these women start pushing our buttons, men have to think things through. Understand where you are. Understand what position you are in. This man's in a position where he has his own home and a lock on his door. No one had to come into his house. No one. Now, if she's on the lease, that's different. She can come and go as much as she please. So being on the lease means that she's got that button right there in her hand. She wants to push that button and go in that house and get them kids and disrupt his situation. She can, because she's on the lease. At that point, it's just a custody issue. when the police arrive. There's nothing they can do. Now, the problem with Ray J is once they came into the house, he thought he had a right to be able to pull his gun and defend his children. In the state of California, you can pull out your gun and defend yourself if someone else is about to commit intimate death or bodily harm. But she was unarmed. And these states, if you understand your laws in your states, they come up with nice ways to get you in trouble when you just throw your gun out and they don't have a gun. So he got arrested for brandishing a firearm. See how convenient the tables are turned? Now, in his mindset, I'm in the house defending my kids. But not knowing the laws of California put him in a bind. And now he's in jail after he thought he was defending his kids. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame that we're dealing with women still that are vindictive and will use any methods they can to get to you by pushing your buttons. So it's important you got to know the rules of your states, know the laws of your states. If she's not on that lease, then Ray J should have met her at the door and said, look here, you ain't on the lease and you don't have a key. What do you want? Nope, you can't get the kids. And if you come in my house, I'm going to call the police because you're trespassing. That's all he had to do. He didn't need a gun to stop her if she wasn't intelligent to know these things we're talking about. Now, if she was intelligent to know these things we're talking about, then there's a difference there. She's planned this out. She knows she got a key. She knows she can walk right in the house. She knows she's on the lease. And when she goes in there and try to take her kids, she knows there's nothing that Ray J can do. And then she's going to say, Ray J point the gun at me. For what? You don't have a gun. You ain't causing a threat to him. You just saying that because he's recording your sorry ass coming in his home and disrupting his family, his kids. And there she is. That's what a woman does when they're vindictive. Oh, he pointed a gun at me. He pointed a gun at me. Hollering like you got a stake in the situation. No, you are just as guilty as anybody else coming in that house in a woman mindset, okay, to come in there and disrupt. You are guilty for disruption. You didn't have to go in there and deal with those kids like that and Ray J. You didn't have to go in there. You could have went down to your lawyer's office and filed the documents. You could have let your kids have a good night's sleep without the memories of that evening. No, but you took it upon yourself to bring that man with you down there to do exactly that. Disrupt. Disrupt. And them kids, what were they doing as they were leaving? They were crying. So, is she really helping the situation? Because it doesn't sound like the kids are like, Mommy, we're ready to go. Don't sound like they was ready to go. Sounds like they were crying. Sounds like they were disrupted in their calm and comfortable state. Sounds like someone's trying to take them away. Sounds like someone that they don't like. What kids cry when their mama come get them? What kids cry when their mama come get them? Most kids love their mama and be glad to go with their mama when their daddy is done with them. They glad to go to mama. But these kids are crying in the end of the video. This is the end of our weekend. This is how our weekend has to end for the holidays. This is it. This is the best we can do as Americans on the planet. This is it. This is how the holidays have to be. We don't take a break from violence. It doesn't make any sense to keep trying if this is the best we can do. Need to pack up my things, pack up my stuff, and move somewhere where I have a lot of acreage around me and close my door, keep my cabin warm, and allow the world to crash and burn around me. Because that's what is going to happen. When kids can't go to a birthday party without dying, that's what's going to happen. These people that shot up the kids' birthday party. This is it. This is the straw right here. Because if you ain't got any limitations on your violence, it's okay to shoot up a kid's birthday party. I don't know if there's any hope. I don't think there's any hope. When you can load up your magazines and roll up in front of a kid's birthday party and shoot into the building like it was nothing, I don't think there's any hope. There can't be any hope. There's no hope for the 9-year-old and the 8-year-old and the 14-year-old and the 21-year-old who will never, ever get to see 2026. Never get to see Christmas. Their birthdays. It's sad. It is so sad. Lord, help those that are trying to do good and deliver those that just don't get it. You have to do something about this because you can't be 8 years old, smiling one minute, and on the floor bleeding to death the next. It is a traumatic sight for anyone to see a smiling 8-year-old lying on the ground bleeding to death. ZZ109FM, this is Elsie Jenkins. Thought we was going to have a beautiful Thanksgiving weekend, and see that violence refuses to take a break. Violence refuses to have mercy on us. And if we're not careful, violence may engulf us all. Every last one of us. If we don't do something about it. If we don't stand up against this virus, this bacteria that could kill you or me or anybody else if we just go to a birthday party, if we don't do something about this, it will consume us all. And the only thing that's going to be left on this planet is violence. I'm Elsie Jenkins. This is ZZ109FM Talk Radio. Stay safe. Blessings to you and your family. When you go out, you have to look over your shoulder. You have to make sure that you do the best you can to protect yourself. And if you do like I do, 9 times out of 10, you just don't go out. Because I don't care how safe you think you are. You don't know what the intentions are of the next person in this world of violence. You just don't know. Y'all have a safe December. We're going to do more talk radio, but you have a safe rest of your December. Take care. Lord have mercy.